So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
In the 1980s, Hollywood released comedies that would trigger outrage before the trailer even finished today. Film Gorilla presents 10 raunchy 80s comedies that could never be made today. At number 10. James Saito couldn't speak Japanese when filming started. He reportedly memorized his lines phonetically, and nobody noticed. Hot Dog the Movie is 90 minutes of topless skiing, stereotypes, and wet t-shirt contests, played completely straight. MGM actually released this in theaters. Director Peter Markle turned the snowy slopes of Squaw Valley into what basically feels like an adults-only spring break movie. Critics destroyed it, but home video audiences loved it, and somehow the MPAA barely fought the R rating. Today, social media would tear this thing apart before opening weekend even arrived. Every joke, every stereotype, every frame. And somehow, it gets even crazier from here. Because later, a PG comedy gets away with something that would instantly explode online today. At number 9. 3 middle-aged men rent a beach house to trick younger women into sleeping with them. That's not the villain's plan, that's the movie. Columbia Pictures released this theatrically in 1984 like it was completely normal. The production even demolished a real hotel in Santa Monica for a single gag. The talking parrots? Crew members improvised those filthy lines off-camera between takes. Producer Jeff Began loaded the movie with non-stop nudity because he knew it would dominate video rental stores. And he was right. The movie made back its tiny budget several times over. Today, the entire premise alone would probably get the studio buried online before filming even wrapped. Coming up, a movie where the entire plot would probably trigger investigations today.
I suppose I'd say I'd just like to buy some condoms.
Well, be a little bit more sophisticated.
At number 8. The plot revolves around boys sneaking into a girls' school to spy on students undressing, and the movie treats it like harmless fun. Phoebe Cates and Betsy Russell were only 19 filming nude scenes. Universal released it nationwide as a teen comedy. Director Noel Black had previously made serious dramas before pivoting hard into exploitation comedy. Hidden cameras, peeping toms, voyeurism played for laughs with a cheerful soundtrack, and audiences barely blinked. The movie made over $16 million on a modest budget and became a massive rental hit on VHS. Today, every single scene would be clipped, reposted, and dissected online within hours. But even this looks tame compared to what a PG-rated comedy gets away with next.
My name is Lieutenant Harris.
At number 7. A woman performs a sexual act on the commandant during a public speech in a PG-rated comedy. Not PG-13, that rating didn't even exist yet, just PG, the same rating as E.T. Producer Paul Maslansky got the idea after watching real police cadets and imagining a comedy about total misfits in uniform. Director Hugh Wilson actually toned the script down, and it still pushed boundaries. Warner Brothers released it in 1984, and it exploded into a giant franchise worth hundreds of millions worldwide. That one scene alone would dominate social media for days if released now. Think pieces, boycotts, outrage videos, endless discourse. Instead, it became one of the biggest comedy franchises of the decade. Next, the movie that basically invented the raunchy college comedy. At number 6, a professor sleeps with his student, played entirely for laughs. Another scene literally turns potential assault into a cartoon gag with an angel and devil debating it inside a character's head. And Bluto spies on women through a sorority window with a ladder. Director John Landis was only 27 years old, and Universal hated the script so much they slashed the budget and rushed production in Oregon. But Animal House exploded anyway. The movie made over $140 million worldwide and basically created the blueprint for every chaotic college comedy that followed. It made John Belushi a superstar overnight. But today, half the jokes alone would probably trigger outrage before the first trailer finished playing. Coming up, a future Oscar winner stars in something so wild he barely even acknowledges it anymore. At number 5, a teenage character has an abortion, and the movie treats it like real life instead of turning it into a giant moral lecture. That alone would ignite culture wars online today. Director Amy Heckerling wanted the movie to feel messy, awkward, and authentic, like actual high school. Cameron Crowe even went undercover at a real California high school for months while researching the script. Then came the pool scene. Phoebe Cates emerging in slow motion to moving in stereo instantly became one of the most iconic fantasy sequences of the entire decade. Universal had no idea how to market the movie at first and nearly dumped it. Instead, it became a classic and launched the careers of Sean Penn, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Judge Reinhold. Today, every scene would get analyzed for hidden political messaging within minutes of release. Next, John Hughes writes a movie in 2 days that would never survive a modern pitch meeting.
Why are we wearing bras on our heads? Ceremonial.
At number 4, 2 teenage boys use a computer to literally create their fantasy woman, and she basically exists to become their perfect dream girlfriend. John Hughes wrote the entire script in just 2 days during a 4th of July weekend. He didn't even want to direct it at first. Universal convinced him by agreeing to fund The Breakfast Club. Kelly LeBrock became an instant 80s icon playing Lisa, despite the character having almost no real agency in the story. Anthony Michael Hall and Elan Mitchell-Smith played the nerdy outcasts with total sincerity, which somehow made the movie even stranger. The fantasy at the center of the film already felt dated decades ago. Today, the concept alone would probably get rejected before page 10. But number 3 gets even harder to explain. At number 3, before Forrest Gump, before Philadelphia, before America trusted him with basically everything, Tom Hanks starred in a movie where a donkey overdoses on cocaine at a bachelor party, and it's played entirely for laughs. There's a deflating sex doll, non-stop strippers, complete chaos, and wall-to-wall raunch. Producer Bob Israel reportedly based parts of the script on his own real bachelor party stories. The movie was shot quickly on a modest budget and somehow became a mainstream studio hit. Hanks would eventually become one of the most respected actors in Hollywood history, which makes this movie feel even more surreal now. Every frame feels like evidence from an alternate timeline. And somehow, number 2 is even worse.
How many cameras do we have left?
This should do it.
Oh, here she comes.
Go up, go up.
Oh, no. Oh!
At number 2, a character disguises himself as a woman's boyfriend and sleeps with her without revealing who he really is. The movie presents it as a triumphant romantic victory. She even smiles afterward and falls for him. What the film treats as a feel-good underdog moment would absolutely be viewed as sexual assault today. Audiences cheered for this scene in theaters. Critics barely questioned it. Fox released the movie nationwide, and it became a massive hit that spawned multiple sequels. The production even had to shield child actor Andrew Cassisi from the R-rated material by removing him from set during the raunchier scenes. But no amount of nostalgia changes how shocking that central moment feels today. A modern remake would probably collapse in controversy overnight, but nothing changed raunchy comedy more than number 1.
They're perverted. They're retarded. Expulsion.
At number 1. The MPAA originally slapped Porky's with an X rating. Director Bob Clark had to trim scenes frame by frame just to secure an R, and even then, the movie still pushed boundaries harder than almost anything else in mainstream comedy. The shower scene, the peeping holes drilled into the girls' locker room, underage boys sneaking into strip clubs. 20th Century Fox distributed it after other studios backed away, and it exploded into one of the biggest hits of 1982, making over $100 million worldwide. Bob Clark later said he collected real stories for years while growing up in Florida, using them to build the movie's outrageous world. Nearly every raunchy teen comedy that followed borrowed something from Porky's. American Pie, Superbad, Road Trip, but the original feels almost impossible now. The genre it helped create has completely evolved past what Porky's could ever get away with today. Which movie on this list would get cancelled the fastest if it released today? Comment your pick and subscribe for more movies Hollywood could never make now.